Hello, today is September 11th, 2025. I'm meeting today with Mr. Dennis Tomsovich at his home in Poudre Park, Colorado. My name is Brad Hoops. I'm the interviewer for the Remember and Honor Veterans History Project. We're here to talk about Dennis's military career. Well, welcome, Deke, and as you like to be called, thank you very much for sitting down to tell your story today. Let's start out, if we could. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your date of birth, where you were born, and a little bit about your family.
72548. I was born in the Christian Welfare Hospital in East St. Louis, Illinois, with Dad being John Tomsovich, and my mom was Grosko was her last name, Betty Grosko. She hated to be called Elizabeth. I think that's a wonderful name. My birth certificate said my dad was unemployed. There was a little town there that's all gone. The blacks came in from Memphis and tore the town up, and we had a little bitty house, no living room. The living room was a office for the Carpenters Union. My Aunt Aggie lived there, and then we had a Bohemian Hall across the road. It was a larger street. We could park in the middle. And the Union Hall was for the guys every Wednesday. I remember the place smelling like cigars. I was a little boy there. We lived there. Dad ran the Bohemian Hall there. Across the other way, east, or actually west, was a little grocery store. The end of that block was a bakery store, and two blocks to the north was a Methodist Catholic church and a school. And I went there as first grade, and we used to come back, and the blacks used to mug us to and from school. And then I went home, my dad would beat me up. We were never scared of November then. So he bought me a boxing implement, and it made me, I trained all winter. And then that spring, 10 of them and me and my little brother, they come out to mug us, steal whatever we have. And I walked up to the head guy and smacked him so hard blood flew all over the place, scared the hell out of all the kids, and went home. And we were revered after that and left alone. And my dad taught me a very valuable lesson there, if not a career. Okay.
So you said a little brother. Is that your only
my
sibling?
Little brother Larry, yeah.
Okay.
And high school. We finally moved to Belleville. You looked off to the east, and there's these bluffs, and that was my dad's mountains. Someday we can get there. And what's really a shame, I went there with one of my daughters, and it's gone. There's no grandpa's house. There's nothing there. No church. No. There's one house way down the distance, and then there's a liquor store where the railroad tracks used to be to the south. We moved to Belleville, and I hated high school. It was terrible. I had to take we had to take a bus to Belleville to Cathedral High School. It was an all old, beat-up high school. Had football practice, and you hung your stuff up in the attic of the church, hot, miserable. And then here I am, 8 Mile. How do you do double sessions football practice? All they would do is give us a bag of ice, and whatever on that. But then I wound up playing soccer 5 years, cup soccer, and I was a baseball player. Dad had us all the way up baseball. My brother and I were catchers. My little brother was a pitcher, left-hander. And I didn't realize how close I was to the pros, because I played baseball at CSU, and I bat left and right-handed. And I hear that Miami Marlins does not have a backup catcher. So years ago I found it No, I should have applied for, or at least tried out. Because, like I said, I could hit. What happened when we were kids, we were called hardball players, and we were better than everybody else, so they made us bat left-handed and wiffle ball. So that became another monster, and then it seemed like it matured out when I got older. I could really hit left-handed with a lot of power, hit home runs without even trying, just trying to hit the ball, meet the ball. If I need a real hit, I go up impetuously and hit a double. I go for the double, like the stand usual, clear the bases. Okay. And high school was very disappointing. I was an art editor for the yearbook. I did all these posters for I did a lot of work. For the seminary, they wanted me to do posters. And I was a super art guy and a sign painter. And at the graduation, they had an art award, and I got all nervous. They're going to call me up. They gave an art award to this guy, Steve Lupning. They wanted us for a contest to make a crest for the by league of St. Louis and Missouri and Illinois, and we entered the contest. He got first. I got second. So they wound up giving the art award to this guy, and he was from out of town. He never did anything extra. Me, I did all this work. I was so mad, and I guess I had a nervous breakdown because I was just so upset. So, and I chewed out my art teacher. I should have punched him out, but he was an idiot. But a new guy. So that made me join the Army. I joined the Army right after high school.
Well, now, let me catch you real quick. Out of all the service branches, how did you come to choose the Army?
I went down to join the Marines, and they were closed. They were on break or whatever. And then I just walked over to the Army, and then I said to God, let me have it. I thought they'd give me a speech, but he said, I could sign me up for it.
And this is what, roughly 65, 66?
Yeah.
Vietnam was
August 66, August 1st, 66.
Vietnam was just starting to ramp up a bit.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was on a debate team in school, and we would debate the war. And
Really?
I was for the United States, saying that communists were trying to take over the world. So that's what we believed in, or I did. Back my part of the speech, they had like a thing in the cafeteria, and it was my turn to speak. Blah blah. So then I had really need DI and basic. You wanted for sergeant controller.
Well, now, how soon after you enlisted did you take off for basic?
Right away.
Right away.
Yeah.
And where did you take your basic?
Fort Leonard Wood,
Okay.
Missouri. Yeah, and this really need Apache. Part Apache DI was so called sergeant controller. And back in them days, the Army was rough, because we were going
And how was
wartime. It was tough.
How was that adjustment for you, going from carefree civilian life into the military life? Was that much of an adjustment for you, or did?
Well, you wait in the middle of the night and you hear people running. It was hard to sleep right away. But once we got going, they all wound up being a band ed instructor because they liked I was good at it, and so they made me a band ed instructor after a while. Then they shipped me to Germany,
Wow.
and Germany really sucked. It was cold, wet. I was an artillery surveyor, and I had to go out in the mud and pull tape and physically survey our guns in. So our artillery was always accurate. And we went to Grafenwehr, Germany 4 times, and we shot our artillery there. I think it was 6 of the 32nd. We lived at Merrill Barracks in Nuremberg, and then we were still combat ready there. We would get alerts, and we'd have to go dig a hole and put our M60s up and wait for World War III.
Yeah, right.
They made me do a lot of stuff. I was a training NCO, took over a training NCO office, got a letter of commendation for it. I was a surveyor, and I did a BC driver, and I pulled, I had to pull duty. I pulled guard duty, and I pulled KP 36 times in a giant second armored mess hall. So it was, 3 in the morning, 7:30 at night. I come home one night and just wanted to lay in my bunk just to relish the fact I was off duty. And the alarm goes off. We had to go, and then they make me load the ammo trailer because, I was athletic, playing sports in school and everything. So one guy called me I was Super Recruit. He was from Boston, Fitzgerald, great guy. And in baseball, I played baseball. Me and Dickerson were the only two guys in our outfit that played with the Vardy team. And we'd go down the hallway wearing our steel spikes. That was cool.
Now, would you go around Europe playing other units?
Yeah, it was pretty neat. It was the first time I had people didn't know cheering for me. What? So then, one wonderful day out the field of Grafenwehr on Valentine's Day, I get levied to Vietnam.
Oh.
So they gave us a 45-day leave. Came home and nothing. I had a buddy that was played in the band, and then I kind of hung out I roadied with the Tikis for a little bit, and off to Vietnam. We went to Alaska, and then we went to Yokosuka, Japan. I bought 2 kimonos and souvenirs and stuff for Mom and maybe a possible girlfriend, whatever. And I get to Long Binh, another form of hell.
What was that? Let me back. I'm sorry to keep interrupting, but I got these questions. What's that like? That flight you're going basically into harm's way, and you're sitting on that flight. All you've got really time to do is think. Do you remember what you were thinking going in at all, or was it?
Oh, I know they were martyring us. I was coming into Benoit, and we were being martyred. So they directed us to Tomsovich. So it's really neat. And then when I was leaving, they were martyring me on my day, which there'll be some connecting stories with that. But at Long Binh, it's a replacement. You wait a few days to figure out what unit you're going to.
Oh, so you went over as a replacement. You weren't in a unit
yet.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so in the middle of the night to get us ready for a dawn flight somewhere, somebody grabbed my bag, and I had this black guy's bag. I turned it in. He didn't turn mine in.
That was
months later, I got my 201 file. So when I got to my unit, 6th and the 32nd, they just started paying me from when I got there. So we worked our asses off. I filled over 2 million sandbags easy. We built 13 bunkers.
In that weather.
4 sandbags thick. 2.5 miles of concertina, triple concertina wire, made a minefield, blah blah. And
you were building a base, or where were you? Now, where'd you go?
Yeah, we were building out of the base. Yeah, we actually had billets, and then the first night you sleep without mosquito net. It's terrible. Mosquitoes would bother the hell out of you. It's hard to sleep the first night. Then when you get a mosquito net, you get a cot, and you put 4 poles up, and then you get a net, then you can start sleeping. And then we work all day long, filling sandbags, and then we drink.
In that heat and humidity.
Drink 3 beer, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was so black. You ought to see how dark I was. I looked like a black man. We were out in the sun, and I worked without a shirt, and just filled up sandbag. And then we had day guard. I'm out on day guard. And this village Stolam was in front of us, and the VC were down there raising hell and shooting and all this. And they sent 2 jets out from Tuiwa, I was at a place called Fuhip with the 173rd Airborne, which I was awarded this patch for shooting artillery for them, which I'll get to later. And here come the F-4s, I guess, and they flew over and they're shooting, and the Gooks were shooting at them. And they went around again. And then they come over, and then this time they came over and they didn't shoot back. And they dropped tanks, the napalm, and they napalm the whole village in front of me. Dolan, gone. Unbelievable. Yeah. So I used to go down there with the medic, and we would treat the people down there. Yeah, it's a real shame, yeah. So then they come up one day and say, you're going to FDC. Because I had geometry in high school, and they picked me to go there. And so I had to go in a bunker underground in a comm center and learn how to shoot artillery. It was quite a deal. It was a comm center. We had an FDO, fire direction officer, another guy, I think his name in a second, Carmichael, and me, and we had a wall with three. The wall was a total. It was a map, and we had three big circles on it, and we had we had three gun batteries out in the mountains, and they were 175s. They called them long drums, and there was 4 of them. So we shot artillery for them. Guys would call in fire missions, and then we would locate the grid, and then we would get a hold of Charlie Battery or whoever and get the shot out. So my favorite war story in that was one day everybody went to lunch, and I'm there by myself, and this ranger, he's running, I got 30 Victor Charlie, and he said, and I said, give me grid, and he did, and then I go and see what gun could hit it, Charlie Battery could hit it, and then I tell the Charlie Battery got fire mission over, and everybody, we're going 2 clicks above Jack Benny for the mission, and then they shot. Then I got to go over and get my airplane. I got an airplane out there. Call him up. Sky King Refuge 13. Do you have any arty over? Or do you have any last minute friendlies? He said, no, you're okay. So then I called back to Charlie Battery, cleared the fire. So they had the fire mission, and they gave me credit for 4 kills. So I always kid everybody, I killed 30 of them at lunch. And people want to know how many guys you killed. And the number would be very large, shooting artillery. One day we shot 72 targets. And we had this captain from Alabama come in, hey, you boys doing any shooting? He looked at the grid of the map, and he saw all those blue circles, and his eyes got so big. We all looked at him like we'd kill him. Where you been? How come you don't know? But he had a middle office in the middle of the bunker, and we're at the other end of the bunker running the comm center. So, geez.
So what were your living conditions like as far as sleeping conditions, food?
Yeah, they had a mess hall, which was cool, and they had the local Vietnamese people doing the KP, so it didn't. I was dying of thirst all the time, so I actually wrote Kool-Aid and sent them some MPC for Kool-Aid, and they sent me a big box of Kool-Aid and a pitcher.
Oh wow!
And I gave each box to each battalion, or each company, make sure they got. So I was at headquarters company, and then so Alpha Bravo, and then they got a box of Kool-Aid. So I know I should have done a commercial with them.
Yeah, right.
But to this day, yeah, I love sweetened Kool-Aid. Yeah, and okay. Then guys up north getting shot up north, and they wanted they needed survey control out toward Cambodia, and the party brought a guy down, and they needed people up there. And then they asked me, did I want to stay in FDC, Fire Direction Center, or go back to my old unit? And I went surveying to artillery. So I went up to Anke, which this represents Anke. I was up there with the first cav. Yeah, then later on, the first mission, we went down to Pantiet when Marines were there, and the 101st Airborne.
So you would be attached to like the 101st or your unit?
No,
or?
we were on the 8th of 26th, but they called us home of the Dirty 30. They had, and they pulled us out of the field. We're surveying in the mud and all that, and they pulled us out of the field, make us do an IG inspection, clean everything, perfect. I sharpened all the machetes for the guys. Every guy we had a knife. He had a giant knife, and I made sure that IG went to check the machete and cut his finger on one of them. So that was good.
So you guys needed machetes to hack through the
like you're
the brush.
surveying. You got to survey through the jungle and that, and then get the trees out of the way, whatever, out in enemy territory.
Well, did they have a unit protecting you, or what were you doing for protection?
Okay, they were at a distance. Was the 101st Airborne out there, and then in time we got out where we had to protect ourselves. And what was really cool, we had this E7 Sergeant Kiddo. He was from Guam, and he saw his family get killed by the Japanese in World War II. And this guy was not afraid of the VC. He would run them down. And he'd yell at us, I said, Q, we need the security. Can we get the 101st Airborne or somebody? He goes, God damn it, you people are making your $65 a month combat pay. Now get out there and fight.
Huh. Wow.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Kept everybody alive. We hit our lieutenant. You couldn't get a shot at him. We hid the guy. And he was a real nice guy from Villanova, a basketball player, a college guy. We hit him out. Yeah.
How was it? I mean, I'm under the impression you could never let your guard down. You were constantly. Could you ever relax?
You kind of get used to it. Actually, what happens, you turn into a drunk. We get drunk and not give a shit. The first month you're scared shitless. In the middle, you don't care. You're going to drink and we'd fight each other all the time. I had a buddy, Sexton from Chicago, he was 28, John Knoll from Chicago, and then Ralph with cauliflower ears from Brooklyn, and me from East St. Louis, and we were a mini gang, and then we'd all fight each other too. So we get to a place called Duck Trong, and it's terrible. They go, well, we get martyred here a lot, and everybody's wearing their combat shit, you know. We were in bush hats and however, we wanted to be. And that night they martyred us. Oh, man. And we built this little tiny bunker to save there for the martyrs. Next day, it looked like Hamburger Hill. We built 3 bunkers right in front of us, 4 sandbags thick. And this time, he could have martyred us. Now he protected. So then we go out, and then we start getting shot at every day going out surveying. And then we get shot at coming back in at night. And we're trying to work our way west, and guys are getting wounded. And so we went and got our local, is there a Green Beret patch somewhere, that one? Is it?
Yeah.
We went and got our local Green Beret, and he had a little ranger outfit. And we went. This time we're going out, and we're gonna get these guys that are shooting at us. So we go out there, and you got Sergeant Kiddo, and everybody. buddy running after the Green Beret right in front of me got shot in the thigh, or in the calf. And we neutralized, we got all the VC that were shooting at us. So then we got to work our way out farther west. Then we get to a place called D. Lynn, and this is crazy. There was a power plant there. There was a reservoir on top, beautiful mountains, a reservoir, and two pipes coming down, and a generator in the power plant, and then power lines would go to Saigon. It was the fun. I tried to Google it, and I couldn't find it. And I guess somebody came there and disassembled it, put it together somewhere else, which would have been a great project.
Yeah.
Hey, you want a power plant? Supply your city with that. Then what is it? I got. They wanted me to take the new guys down to Bolock. I got 10 days left. Oh, what? And I said,
10 days left on your tour?
yeah, you did a whole year.
Yeah.
You did a year.
I thought usually the last 30 days they kind of let off on
We
you.
did too.
Oh.
But no, they usually would. And I had 10 days left. I had to take the new guys down. Oh, I was pissed. I sold my pistol and stuff, get ready to go home. And I wouldn't talk on the radio. I was so mad. And I was 445 on the radio. Ralph was my RTO, was great radio telephone operator. And Elvis from Brooklyn, this is 445 Oscar, over. Hearing Ralph running the radio was hilarious to me. And I got back and I wouldn't talk to anybody. I was so fucking. And then that kiddo comes up to me and says, "You're going back." I said, "Okay." I went back, and there was a hooch out in the middle in Anke. We had barracks, and the skinniness and that. It kind of looked like it was Hamburger Hill in the middle, and the other one with the platoon where they're inside the hooches. We had hooches like that. And on the way down, I want to say north, was a USO. Oh, you can go down there and get a cheeseburger. And then in between, there was a building, I don't know, it got spaced out somehow, wasn't much. And they turned it into a nightclub. The next thing you know, we go over there, and they had a Korean band playing Night Cool and saxophone, etc. And everybody go there and say how short they were. I got 10 days, motherfucker. I got 10, 11 days. I was there, and I got up, my turn. I says, "Tomorrow morning, motherfuckers." I'm leaving tomorrow. So the next day, we're getting martyred. And I went out there in my white T-shirt and my green BDUs pants, and some lieutenant tries to chew me out. "Someone we've been attacked. I'll come in your car back there." I said, "Sir, when you're in the field, there's no siren to warn you you just had a martyr attack." And he looked out to the west, and there's the Cobra. Mowing the lawn, go a little farther into the tree line until the gook stopped shooting at us, and then I got to go home. Wonderful. I did do an R&R late. I went.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you got an R&R.
I went. So I should have went right away if I know I could do her. I went out 9 months. I tried to go to Bangkok. They were shipping Thai troops on our flights. I waited 4 miserable days in Saigon. Couldn't get out.
Oh.
Came back. I grabbed the fucking clerk and picked me up in the air. I said, "You give me any fucking place you got, pal." He said, "I got Singapore." I didn't even know where it was. "Okay, I'll go." Yeah, but it was island paradise. I realize now one of the largest ports in the world. And I was so happy just being at the hotel.
Oh, I can't imagine being out in the bush that whole time. Now you're in this nice hotel. What that must have felt
And
like.
the boy comes up to me. 445 is my room too. For some
Really?
reason, I went, "Hey, this is cool." And so I'm up on the fourth floor, and they got my call number is my room. I looked at it as a sign I was going to make it.
Yeah.
I said, that's a good sign there. And, yeah.
You keep going. Yeah.
So the boy comes up and says, you want a girl? I said, yeah, okay. So I went down to the lobby, and there was a whole lobby full of beautiful women. Unbelievable. I took my time. I looked at the tallest, prettiest one, looked like Linda Reinecker, a girl I admired up the street when I was in Belleville. And, oh man, she was just... There was another time, though, too, I forgot that they had to send me and Radke from Washington up to Delot from that duck trong hellhole we were at to find survey control from French surveyors.
Now,
So-
were you moving back and forth via chopper then, or how were you getting
No,
back?
no, we drove. We had a truck,
Oh.
3/4 ton trucks, and then you can't. We did sunshots every 10 station or whatever, and maybe every 6 station, and you can't with the theodolite surveying instrument. You can't with the position of it. You can't do it from 10 o'clock in the morning to 2. You have to do it early or after 2. So I said, hey, Rad, take me downtown. So we went downtown, and while we were even going there and finding the place, we saw this gorgeous chick in her bow tie walking down a boulevard, a fucking boulevard, and the gas stations were going like, wait a minute, what's the matter? Down here is the war, and up here is a beautiful city. Didn't make sense. So I go to the hotel, I throw all my comment shit in the corner. I said, Mom, son, you got any girls coming in? So I got one coming in. So I had a beer with her, waited. In walks this beautiful girl I was admiring. And she was gorgeous. So I had her $10, and I had her for an hour in a hotel room. Oh, she was so beautiful. They're half French Vietnamese. See, the Vietnamese girls would have like 14, 15 pubic hairs, where the French Vietnamese, see that big hair pie and boing, and my passion rides as high. Yeah, quote Alabama. Yeah, then you go back to the hellhole. It's amazing.
Yeah, how was that? So you had that nice time in Singapore. Now you've got to go back to.
Yeah, then it was tough. Then you're scared your last month. You know, oh man, an extra paranoid, you know, or whatever. And then, like I said, I had the 10 days left. And
Didn't they always? I've always heard they said the most dangerous time of your tour was that first month and that last
Yeah.
month. Yeah.
Yeah, they're shooting at you both ways. They're trying to martyr us. So, okay, I guess I'm gonna. I did get wounded at Phu Hip, and S2 wanted me to give me a Purple Heart, and I said no. I turned down the Purple Heart. I didn't want my mom to know that I was hurt.
Oh boy, what happened? How'd you get
I
wounded?
got hit through the glasses and chick tied the head, blood all over the place, big gnaw inside my head. I had civilian safety glasses from Dr. Wagner. If I'd have had army glasses, I probably would have lost my left eye. It just deflected it just enough to not get my eye. So I kind of, yeah, I do dumb, Dennis and Menace. I do a lot of dumb judgment things, and that was one of them. I should have.
Do you regret now not?
Yeah, I should have had the Purple Heart, and that, you know, now that's a big deal anyway, because you know you think all the guys that really got him. Well, I just saw one guy was in the hospital 11 months, and I just did 8 days in Cheyenne for my heart, and I was in bed for 8 days. I couldn't. You know, I had to pee, and then they call it the eat and pee up there. And my daughter, actually I was supposed to go up for oxygen, and my daughter insisted that I go through ER. They actually awarded me a day of oxygen, and gave me a little oxygenator, and then they said, "Up, you're going over to Cheyenne Medical." So they sent me to Cheyenne Medical. I was there 10 days, and then they said, "Well, ambulance me to MCR because they could do the valve and the stent all in one operation." And I was only there 3 days. And, they knock you out. I don't remember shit. They said I died for 8 seconds or something. My heart quit. And then they got me, the valve and the stent. You notice the valve right away. Because I had trouble breathing before that, and I didn't realize that the valve, a bad valve makes you breathe bad. I couldn't blow. I could blow a candle out. There was no air there. So then that day the next day after I woke up and all that, I could breathe without oxygen. I had oxygen. No oxygen that day, no oxygen that night, no oxygen the next day. And I could sit down. And then my daughter came and got me out of there. And then,
we had talked earlier before we went on camera about Agent Orange. Was that service related, your heart issue, and was it related to Agent Orange? Or
ooh, possible. I don't. Okay, what was I going to say? Yeah. One of my Cheyenne visits. They go up to Cheyenne a lot for everything.
Yeah.
And they wanted to know where I was at in Vietnam and for Agent Orange. And here I clicked off all these different places. One of them was Dong Ha. Here, 49 years later, I found out I went up to the DMZ. I had to go up. Here's where they chopper you. And I went up there to calibrate the Korean Marines artillery. Make sure all their numbers were good, etc. I had 2 bodyguards in the field. One of them was Tong Ki Sin. Remember? Tong Ki Sin over still alive. And I don't remember the other guy.
I heard
they were playing with my 38. And, it was dangerous with them.
I heard those Koreans were tough soldiers.
I got on my other BDU, I got a Korean patch. It's a Tiger division. And they were ruthless. The gooks were scared to death of these guys. They killed whores, and they kill anybody. They don't care who, what. But they were great, And then at Phu Hip, I was also with there's a White Horse division, and they were air mobile. They would air mobile those guys out for firefights, etc. too. When I'm filling sandbags. I got a commendation for 2 million meters recon in enemy territory. Here we are. I guess we set up that deal for Cambodia, so that way we could have artillery backup for the guys going into Cambodia. And so we were the precursors for that. Yeah.
Man, your MOS took you all over Vietnam then.
It's neat. We did a lot of flying. I love the C-123, one of the neat little aircraft. Take off on a small runway, and it's like a small C-130. And we did use C-130s back and forth when we went down, when I went left and had to go to Anke or whatever. We went to Saigon, Da Nang, Nha Trang. And then we got an airplane there and stayed at night down there, and then we went up to Anke to our new outfit. So I get back. Let's go back home now.
Yeah.
And
what was that thought when you got on that bird and the pilot came over and said we're out of Vietnam airspace? But you said you got mortared on the way out, right?
Yeah, yeah. Then I take a C-130 down to Nha Trang, and then you get your big bird home, and they have the store has they come out with a little washcloth with I would say aftershave or whatever, and they go wipe off the dust of Vietnam. You're going to paradise. So here and then I get to Fort Lewis, Washington. everybody's laughing at this one guy because he didn't wear underwear. Oh, we don't wear underwear in the bush. He was a real boot. I wear boonie troopers. And the biggest raindrops I ever did see was up there in Seattle.
Really?
And
After the monsoons in Vietnam?
well, okay, one monsoon in Vietnam, it rained for 2 weeks solid. And we had to go out on guard duty with, poncho and put that under your gun, or over your gun, I went through 5 F-16s in Vietnam until I finally got one to shoot right. And, we turned in our beautiful 308s, we called them Matty Mattels. We made fun of them. We thought they were for the Air Force girls that they invented it for. Got home, and while I was gone, Mom got a job with the Army Aviation Command. Betty was working on A-64s, the assault helicopters. And
Now, who's Betty?
my mother.
Oh.
And then Dad got a better job, too, at Monsanto Chemical. And they had Monsanto and Mellencrot St. Louis chemicals, which terrible, terrible pollution. And they didn't have pollution laws back then. It was terrible. So I worked, my dad got me a job on the river.
Weren't they the company that made Agent Orange?
Yeah.
What a circle of life there.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just synergistic. So they got a new, when I was a kid, I had to fill up the coal hopper every night. We had a coal furnace, so I come home from school like 13 buckets of coal to heat the house. And, that gave me the catcher build,
Okay,
and
sure,
the arms and that. And so then they went to a gas system. And so the coal bin, we had a room that was a coal bin and a coal chute and concrete wall and that. And I moved into the coal bin because it was safe for martyr. You get martyred, and I got that big wall there, concrete. And my mom was just shocked. Dennis, her on the phone, Dennis moved into the coal bin. And I cleaned it up and carpeted it and black light posters and put a speaker down there, and a bed, and I'd sneak girls in. In the basement, we had an extra door. I could sneak women in there, but not a lot. Just my actual wife, I guess. Yeah, they had. That's funny because then. Oh wow, I'm getting everything in. So I'm saying, Dad gets me a job in St. Louis right away. 30 days later, I got a job working in a power plant, and it was terrible.
So you got out of the Army then?
They gave me a discharge.
Okay.
I did 8 months, 22 hours, 22 days, 17 hours in active duty. We could have got out at noon, but we had to wait for the chaplain for 4. You talk about the longest hours, waiting for a chaplain to give you a prayer to go home. I flew home on the what do you call it, red eye? And I'm at the airport in St. Louis, and my family walks by me. They didn't even recognize me. It was crazy. And then my little brother, like, a 1.5 feet. So, yeah, here I am. Then I get this shitty job in the power plant. I hated it. It's hard to tell my dad that, though.
Yeah.
And, oh, man. I actually, we had take reject coal out of these coal crushers and take them up to the top floor in the big hoppers upstairs. I went up, I'm going to go on my first vacation, 2 years with this outfit. And finally, I'm going to go on vacation. I worked a guy's shift so I could get out earlier, so I worked 16 hours. And I took the coal up, and the elevator stuck. I couldn't get out. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they sent a guy down, rappel down, to get me out of there. And I know a radio station called, wanted me to talk about it, and I didn't. Here I'm trying to sleep. I need to sleep.
Yeah.
So I didn't sleep the night before.
Right.
And I ran away with a girl, Marcia. She was a beauty queen, perfect teeth, all that. My dad lived country club. Jewish. They don't make house payments. They're too smart for that. I really loved the Jews. We'd sit together in the living room and just talk to each other. And one of my buddies, Mr. Kaplan, he owned Caterpillar over in St. Louis. So he's just ultra rich people, but wonderful people. Though they're smart. I really, my wife liked me. She says I got always brains and brawn. So I did play 5 years cup soccer, and worked out with the Rapids down there in Denver. And we had a beautiful house in Lakewood.
Now, how'd you get out to Colorado then?
Oh, I had a '67 Camaro that burned oil. Come out with $700.
What brought you to Colorado?
We faked her job at the airline. She went to airline school and didn't get on, so we faked that she got on Frontier Airlines. And then I had a buddy on Lookout Mountain, the guy that I was on leave with the band, and we beautiful house in Lakewood. It looked like a Jewish guy had a velvet wallpaper, and should have never sold it.
Yeah.
And then it just, I'm telling you, it looked like it was going out of control here. If you didn't buy a house in the mountains, you ain't never going to get one. Like now, you want one at $800,000 right across the road here. Yeah, that's normal. And they got these one for $13 million and all that. Yeah, so. And actually, I backed out of my driveway and hit my neighbor. I see gray. He had a gray International on a gray pavement. And then a lady cop comes and gives me a ticket in front of my house. And I said, that's it. So sold the house, shouldn't have, and moved up here to this fixer-upper. It looked bad. Then the big Thompson flood hits. So here we are. We sell a beautiful house. We're out of power. There's a flood. I had 13 leaks in the house. And, the river was roaring. And we came back, and I said, Marsh, let's get our packs. We're going to have to get out of here. It don't look like we're going to make it. So we all went up to the community building and died together. But the good old Poudre channel the water out of here really well. And then 3 months later, she convinced. I got on as work with the bank, and I got on, and they really liked me down at the bank. I was a collector, Home Federal Savings, and Marcia got on water pick, and for a week, and she sicked out. She was a girl who sold stuff at the malls. You wouldn't know, industrial woman or whatever, and poor thing. And so a week later, she sicked out, and she grabbed my little snake gun that I had. Somebody told me there's a lot of rattlesnakes up here, which there ain't. There's some. And she took my snake gun and capped herself. So here I come home. The night I went, I was hired like a private detective to find 600 people. I did good. Got to 550, had to use little brains there, and then I had one I was going to turn over to the police. I come home, and that night I went from cop to banker. The bankers wanted me to stay with them and drink. And I come home, and the dog was outside, and the place was black. I go, what's going on here? Went in, and she was in the bedroom. It was real macabre. She had blood caked from her nose all the way to the mattress. And here I see this, and I go, oh my God. So I ran down, we had a deputy, I ran down the deputy. And my life changed big time. And I had a rough struggle trying to even be sane. I damn near one day I called up, I had she worked at, when I was in Oh, down there, Colorado, Denver, I'm gonna call it. She worked for Kmart, and I got my first gun was $92, a Ruger Blackhawk 357. We hiked all around. They're doing 14,000 footers. We're really, and oh geez, yeah. Here I had that gun. I was ready to do it, and then I called the lady up, yeah, and they talked me after killing myself. And it was kind of rough there for a while.
Wow.
I had to pay for this place mentally, too. And there was no help. I wouldn't go up there if I was you, Deke. I wouldn't go up there if I was you. Well, nobody, and I had no relatives out here, nothing. And, all your buddies disappear, of course. Where'd they go? But, yeah, it's been rough.
Wow.
But you phoenix out of the ashes. I'm going to try to go fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, you got how much time you got left?
I'm going to 11 now. Yeah. What was I going to say? Fast forward. Oh, yeah, I did a lot of construction. I got 2 careers, and I was surveyor. I did Joe Wright Reservoir. I actually did 28. I surveyed I-40 across I-25, 26 pier caps, surveyed them in. I got I was up in Cheyenne, done stuff for them. I did sidewalks. All the sidewalks on Warren are heated because I dug them out and put pipes underneath and did that construction.
So you use your surveying skills from NAM to...
Yeah. So I worked with 2 engineering firms. I did Larkspur, Perry Park, and I was probably the first surveyor at Parker. I can't wait to go to the Parker to see. I hear there's a town there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 49 years ago.
Yeah, right.
So I was a real pioneer, more or less, in surveying and construction. Did a lot of projects. I did 6th Avenue West, surveyed all the curb and gutter, all that. Did the Red Rock College and all kinds of... Did go to Red Rock College, and I loved community college. Dr. Bose was the most wonderful man. He was in India, and he believed in... He started the community college system. And I 2 A's and a B there, it was no problem. Yeah, sure did like community college. And then, came up here, yeah. So one part I want to say, a year there was, we usually always got construction jobs somewhere, but there was 30 carpenters out of work, 300 carpenters out of work, nobody, no jobs, and then green braid unemployment. So they said, Deke, you can join, you get prior service. And I'm 32 years old, so I joined this outfit here, the Special Forces Guard. This was the National Guard down here. And yeah, I did a year of that, half hell, half fun. And then I had $8, no job. What do? I got on my motorcycle, rode up to Cheyenne, and lived in the Air Force barracks until I got on as a state guard. And then my Lieutenant Bagley calls me up, Dan Bagley. Virginia needs 100 men now. So what they're looking for is ex-special forces, ex-military policemen. So I was both. So it was January. I got a little baby. I ain't got enough firewood. And I went to Washington, and it was like dying and going to heaven.
Huh.
So I worked for Chuck Vance, and then worked for Secret Service. I was on a Secret Service SWAT team for a while, and then I moved around. I got on better jobs. I was the evidence coordinator towards the end. I took an empty room once and created my own office, put everything in it. I was so proud. I got a picture of my office that I created. And and here I is today. Yeah. But I really try to appreciate this place every day. And plus, after my heart surgery, I'm working out an hour now. Before I had like a 45-minute executive workout. Now I doubled it. And then they gave me the doc says, I'll see you in a year. My heart doctor
good.
yesterday.
Well, that's a good sign. Yeah.
So.
Well, now through the years, did you ever keep in touch with some of the guys you served with? Was there any sort of reunions, anything like
No,
that?
there was no reunions. It's a shame. I went up and saw Chicago. I went up and saw Jerry and Sexton. And John Knoll, I think, was there too. I got to see them. But I went right away, like a couple of weeks back from now, I went up. And then I had a buddy, Richardson, from Council Bluffs. I went up to see him. I got an Olds 442, Cutlass in 442, and I drove it out, and then, of course, it broke down. They had to fix it up there in Council Bluffs. But here's Richardson. He used to make fun of me and call me tomato bitch, and I hated it. My dad would have killed him, but I just put I would not. You know, he's one of these guys you could beat up and it wouldn't bother. He was super comedian.
Yeah.
But a great guy, really great guy. And we worked. We were in artillery school together at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and then I get to my unit, and now I'm the first unit, and Richardson's there. So right away I got a friend or whatever making fun of me.
Yeah, yeah, right. How was it? I mean, have you experienced, what we call today PTSD? How was your adjustment and when you got back to the States after NAM? And
the
years?
nightmares only last about 10 years. I had a buddy of mine, his wife and daughter, they burned his house down, and while he's out in the field, and he says, Deke, how long does the nightmares last? I said, about 10 years. Eventually get over it, and then every once in a while, just once, and then once a month, there'll be a good one, and then the last one's where I'd worry about getting lost. 'Cause one time I did get lost at D. Lynn and went out in the jungle, and I couldn't find my way back. It was scary. Everything looked the same. I was worried. So that was a reoccurring nightmare that my unit wouldn't find me and they'd move on. I'd be, what do I got to do? But no, I would have walked out and went to an engineering outfit. They were building a bridge there near that power plant I was telling you about.
Yeah. Well, one question I'm curious about, and I know we've got to cut this interview here short pretty soon, is you had mentioned in high school you were on the debate team debating the Vietnam War. Now that you had 50 plus years to chew on it, you were actually there in Vietnam, do you still have those same feelings, or what are your thoughts on the war as you look back on it now and our involvement?
Well, I did my duty, and you're with your buddies, and you get through it, and I had a pretty good job. Actually, I was out in the mountains and stuff, surveying, and but the thing, they had the new John F. Kennedy visited by Oliver Stone, the new one. And I mean, from day one, I swear to God that on the airplane, President Johnson looked guilty as hell when he was sworn in. And the new one, Oswald's rifle's different. The throwdown rifle has a sling, a regular sling. The one he had a hole in the stock and had the sling come through the wood. So the country didn't even realize that. And for sure, I've seen his Poudre film, and to me, it looks like he gets hit in the head. And then, what's her name jumps in the back of the vehicle to pick up part of his head. And people didn't, and they thought, and this rifle he had was a shitty carbine. That would be something you would wear on horseback or in the jungle.
Yeah.
A short version of a rifle. It wasn't, a sniper rifle per se that would have been what he would have used to do what they said he did. So I can't believe that they sold all that to the American people.
Yeah.
And I remember before that they had President Johnson, they had his buddies up there, and how they do what you see Trump now with people on the couch and that. One of the guys was Bell, Mr. Bell, for Bell Helicopter. So they had the war so his buddy could get rich.
Yeah.
Amongst other things. Isn't that terrible?
Yeah.
That 58,000 men could die? And and then now what do you think about today, 9/11? How could the aircraft knock down those buildings?
Wow.
I got a girlfriend acquaintance. She thinks it's a conspiracy theory that they knocked it down just so we could go to war or to take care of the president's wishes. The old one.
Yeah.
The new President Bush.
Yeah.
Take care of for his dad.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to go new President Bush. He helped the system now, and I really want to thank him for getting the hospitals up. I had a buddy who went up years ago to the hospital. It was like just old ugly people worked there, and it wasn't very good. And now it's a regular run hospital. President Trump has authorized us to go to real hospitals and it's wonderful to be a veteran now. It's all coming back now to me, and they kept me alive with giving me my heart surgery and giving me my heart valve.
So you're happy with the VA and how they're taking care of you? Okay,
yeah, they give me, I get my stuff in the mail, what do you call it, pharmaceuticals I get in the mail, glasses, yeah, I'm really impressed. A lot of people still have some bad things about it, but I'm a lucky man. I feel I'm very lucky.
Wow.
It's all worked out good for me in the end here. Seemed like I had to put up through hell to get here.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the wife dying on me, boy, that just cuts you, knocks you down. How do I get back up? What do I do? Yeah. And and I couldn't do my job anymore, and oh boy, it was tough.
Well, we'll start to wind down this interview because I know you've got to go. Yeah. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to talk about, or any other stories that floated to the top as we've been sitting here that you want to talk about, so that we hopefully, I know we only probably got the tip of the iceberg of your story, but hopefully got a fairly well-rounded story, or do you think we got everything you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, there's like maybe a private book or two that to immortalize Loa Beach down in Denver, but and then that girl Debbie that I told you I had to go bodyguard and pull her out of 3 states. That's a book. It's. So otherwise, I guess we did it.
All right. Well, I want to thank you, Deke, for sitting down to tell your story today. But just as important, I want to thank you for your service to our country.
10-4. Yep. Me at Fort Leonard Wood, brand new trooper there.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that was the one I was sending home my mom for her not to worry. Look at me, I got it made on a little bitty hammock there. Guard, green beret. Another fatigues made up. We were, you can see my fruit salad there in different pins where I've been. Korean Marines, Tiger. And then we were black berets at the field because we were long range. A lot of the guys were wearing black berets. We were way out there. Okay.